I've spent most of my life pretending to be someone I wasn't. To my son, Ethan, I was a tired, struggling, single mom who barely managed to keep the lights on. He never knew that behind my old car, faded jeans, and thrift store handbag, I was quietly earning $40,000 a month as a senior project consultant for an international firm. I never told him, not because I didn't trust him, but because I wanted to raise a man who valued people, not money. When Ethan met Lily, a sweet, polite girl from a well-to-do family, I was genuinely happy for him. He told me she came from good people, and I smiled. But deep down, I wondered what good meant in their world. They got engaged after a year, and soon Lily's parents invited me to dinner. I could tell by their tone it wasn't really an invitation, more like an evaluation. So I made a decision. Instead of showing up in my Mercedes and tailored dress, I borrowed my neighbor's old car, wore my patch sweater, and brought a simple homemade pie. I wanted to see their true character, not the version they show to wealthy people. When I arrived, Lily's mother, Margaret, opened the door. Her eyes scanned me from head to toe, pausing at my worn shoes. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "Oh, you must be Ethan's mother," she said, with that subtle tone people use when they're trying not to sound disgusted. "Yes," I smiled. "Thank you for having me." The house smelled of rosemary and something expensive. The table was set for 6, crystal glasses glittering in the candlelight. I placed my humble pie at the center. Margaret didn't say a word. She just pushed it slightly aside. Throughout dinner, she asked me polite but pointed questions. "So, where do you work?" "Oh, just a small office," I said. "And how do you manage rent these days? Must be tough on a single income." I chuckled softly. "We manage. God's been kind." Lily's father, Richard, barely looked at me. He kept sipping his wine, talking about stocks and golf. Ethan sat there, embarrassed. I could see it, the stiffness in his shoulders, the way he avoided eye contact. My son, my pride, ashamed of me. That hurt more than anything. But I stayed calm, quiet, smiling politely through the judgment. I wasn't there to defend myself. I was there to see who they really were. Then dessert time came. Margaret served her fancy creme brulee to everyone except me. "I'm sorry," she said lightly. "We didn't make enough." That's when Lily spoke up. "Mom," but Margaret just waved her hand. "It's fine, dear. She has her pie." I looked at Ethan. His face turned red. That was my breaking point. I took a deep breath, stood up, and said softly, "You know, Margaret, appearances can be deceiving." She looked confused. "I beg your pardon?" I smiled. "I came here tonight to understand the people who will become my family. I wanted to see how you treat someone you believe is beneath you." Their smug smiles vanished. Then I placed my purse on the table, opened it, and took out my work badge, Senior International Consultant, Zenith Corp. Ethan's jaw dropped. "I make $40,000 a month," I continued calmly. "I could buy this house twice over, but I wanted to see how you treat a woman who has nothing." The silence that followed was heavy. Margaret's face went pale. Richard coughed awkwardly. I didn't realize," Margaret stammered. I interrupted gently. "That's the problem, Margaret. People only realize kindness when there's money attached to it." Ethan stood up, eyes wide and teary. "Mom, why didn't you ever tell me?" "Because, sweetheart," I said, holding his hand, "I wanted you to love people for who they are, not for what they own." Lily came over and hugged me. "You didn't have to test them, Mrs. Harper, but I'm glad you did. I needed to see this too." Richard mumbled an apology. Margaret couldn't even meet my eyes. That night as I drove home, I looked at the city lights flickering across the windshield. Money can buy you comfort, but not character. And sometimes the richest person in the room is the one everyone thinks is broke. Moral: never judge someone by their appearance. True wealth isn't in the wallet, it's in the heart.